Hello and welcome to our special year-end edition of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm your host, Chris Green, Director of Network Expansion for Avoya Travel. Thank you so much for your time and for your continued support of our weekly program. We really have a special show for you today as we both look back at the year that has been. I'm your host, Chris Green, Director of Network Expansion for Avoya Travel. Just as importantly, we look forward to the promise and excitement of a new year and new opportunities. Avoya Travel's poised for just as important growth. We look forward to the promise. It's pretty amazing when you consider the number of record sales years we've strung together pre-COVID. Our new investor, Certares, has the whole industry buzzing, and we're on the cusp of some really exciting times. And all we hope to do with today's show, just like we do with all of our episodes of On Deck with Avoya, is to pique your interest, to cause you to want to know more, to explore if maybe there's this different, more efficient way to sell travel to your clients. Our network expansion specialists are happy to go over all of the details about joining the most exclusive and elite network in travel, the Avoya Travel Network. And you can always find out more and start the process at our website, avoyanetwork.com. We'll also have more of our contact details at the end of today's show. I'm excited to debut a new segment for you today, our first Avoya Insider featuring Senior Manager of Avoya Mastermind, Laura Burk. Laura is a previous guest, and her episode is one of our Manager of Avoya interviews, and we're excited to have Laura back on the show today to discuss some amazing new Avoya Mastermind resources that are being unveiled, as well as an honest, practical discussion on what you need to do to prepare for the upcoming wave season. Not sure what wave season is? Maybe you're new to the industry? Well, don't worry, we'll do a deep dive on that as well. So I'm excited to have Laura as our first Avoya Insider coming up here in just a few moments. We've got a lot of ground to cover on our year-end special, so let's kick it off. This week's edition of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update with some industry insights and our eye on the industry feature. And this past week, all of the eyes of the industry have been on Avoya Travel, and our whole segment today is the focused recap of last week's Avoya conference. Avoya Travel, one of the travel industry's most innovative companies, recently concluded the 2021 Avoya Conference, which took place virtually from December 6th through the 10th. Now, the 2021 Avoya Conference was highlighted by presentations and panels featuring senior-level executives from suppliers spanning the travel industry, including but not limited to Royal Caribbean International, Celebrity Cruises, AMA Waterways, Oceania Cruises, Regent 7 Sea Cruises, Globus Family of Brands, and so many more. And a central focus of the event was the recent announcement that Certares has partnered with Avoya to make a strategic growth investment in the Avoya platform, joining Jeff and Michael Anderson as shareholders of Avoya Travel. Much of the tone for the virtual conference was set by the confidence in the future of Avoya as it enters phase number 3 of our 2025 plan to become the #1 vacation platform, with the Certares investment accelerating that momentum. Some enhancements and developments announced at the 2021 Avoya Conference included a customizable and co-branded Avoya Marketing Resource Center, which we've highlighted before. New digital magazine, this next generation digital magazine, will be sent to travelers quarterly to create awareness, drive traffic, and increase demand. Enhancements to our patented Avoya Travel Agent Power platform, which my team is happy to work with you so you can get a demonstration of this powerful technology. And announcements of 2022 events, with the most anticipated event of 2022 being the Avoya Conference for 2022, which will be hosted in partnership with Celebrity Cruises on board the new Celebrity Beyond. Of course, we featured that news last week. That's going to happen next year, November 8th through the 13th. And Tammy Ritchie, our Vice President of Network Engagement, will be our first guest of the new year and give us an Avoya Insider look at our 2022 events calendar. And that'll be live on Thursday, January 6th at our normal time. As an early preview to that anticipated success for Avoya moving into 2022 and beyond, Avoya shared some incredibly powerful numbers. And I know numbers are hard to pick up in this format, but really listen close because these numbers are amazing regarding recent booking and departure trends. We're comparing 2019 levels, Avoya's strongest year to date, and Avoya saw a 30% increase in upper premium and luxury bookings from September of this year through November, as well as a 196% increase in world cruise bookings during that same period. Land bookings up 28% in November, and year to date, average booking value is up 30%. Avoya is also currently reporting bookings for departures in the second half of next year, as well as bookings for all of the 2022 European departures are both up 30% compared to that same time in 2019. Bookings for 2022 river and luxury cruises, escorted tours, and resort departures are up a staggering 34%, in addition to bookings for 2023. And it sounds a ways out, but that's what clients are booking, and up 144% year over year. As I mentioned earlier, Avoya Travel is in go mode. And if you want to be part of this amazing time, you should reach out ASAP, start the conversation, and join the most successful travel network in leisure travel. Proud that that's Avoya Travel. Okay, as the excitement about 2022 and leisure travel continues to build, we'd like to take a few moments and look back at the year that has been in 2021 and some of our favorite moments here at On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm truly honored and proud to host this show on a weekly basis. I really believe that we've brought you an amazing array of quality guests and content these last 12 months. So let's take a look back at our 2021 On Deck with Avoya year in review. Well, hello, Facebook friends. Hello and welcome to a very special episode of On Deck. Hello and welcome to a very special episode of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm your host, Chris Green, Director of Network Expansion.
Left in me. This is like the greatest industry that's ever existed in Jeff's mind. And
this year that Avoya Travel, we are very bullish on the future of leisure travel, and we're happy to report that as we start 2021, some of the days that we've seen here in the first part of this month have been some of the strongest sales days that our network, the Avoya Travel Network, has seen since the COVID-19 crisis really started to wreak havoc on our industry back in February of last year. So I think that's a really exciting start to the new year, and hopefully all the promise that we hope it has will be fulfilled by the time we get to the end. So today, same kind of level of question. Do you still have any of the tiaras that you had to wear when you were at Disney?
Oh, this old thing?
Yay!
A different experience, but honestly, it was a little revitalizing to be able to take a vacation again after the year that was 2020. And for me, it really reminded me how important travel it is to our well-being, and how happy I am to be part of a company that provides that to others, through our network, through Avoya. And thankfully, there's
opportunities. I think that those that have really done well during this time have realized that in order to continue to service their clients and make money, they maybe needed to.
Oh, live video sometimes can be quite the handful, right? So I'm not sure if that's glitching on everybody's end, but it seems like it kind of froze up on my end. Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm your host, Chris Green, Director. Well, I think we're just going to say thank you to everybody. And of course, two things I want to point out. One, it would be impossible for us to host this show without the amazing contributions we received from so many of the teams at Avoya Travel. All of our guests, everybody in creative services, the whole marketing department, but specifically my producer of the show, Marissa Smith, marketing coordinator for Avoya Travel. Thank you, Marissa. You're incredibly talented. I'm really happy to do this show with you every week. And I'd also like to thank everyone at Avoya Travel for making our show a success. And that includes you who've watched every week. And the other thing I want to point out is that I had mentioned how in the very first episode of 2021 that we were really bullish on the year. And I'm thankful that indeed we did see some of our strongest sales days ever, and they're just getting better and better. And that means our network saw some of the strongest sales days ever for them as well. And we continue to build and build to an amazing future. And as much fun as it is to sometimes look backwards, I personally find it vital that you remain with that view pointed out the windshield and not that rear view mirror. So we're excited to kick off a brand new segment for On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update, with our first ever Avoya Insider segment today. And today we welcome back Laura Burk, Senior Manager of Avoya Mastermind, for a deep dive on professional development, our industry-leading Mastermind program, and new resources being offered for those coming into our network. So let's welcome back our featured guest this week, Avoya Insider, Laura Burk, Senior Manager of Avoya Mastermind. Laura, so great to have you on the show again.
It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Laura, for those that didn't have a chance to see your previous appearances, and if they didn't, they should certainly search them out. They're on our archive. But maybe you could give us a little bit of a background on your travel background and how you ended up as the Senior Manager of Avoya Mastermind.
Well, I actually started out with a different host agency because back in the day, Avoya required a sales level to become an IA with them. And so my first year with another agency, I only did like $125,000 in gross sales. I met the requirements. So I was able to come into Avoya and started out as an IA, like hopefully you guys will join us here very soon. And within my first few weeks of being an IA with Avoya and participating in the Avoya Mastermind Program, this is a key piece here. Once I got started in the Avoya Mastermind Program as an IA and actively participating, meaning meeting with the sales development coaches, implementing the suggested best practices that were shared with me and putting that into motion, I did more in my first 3 weeks with Avoya, with the Avoya Live Leads, than I did the entire year with my other host agency. And within under 5 months, I had already gone over 500,000. And that's when Avoya approached me to actually become a member of the Avoya Mastermind team. And it was something that I could not pass up because I love to educate. It's something I've done from coaching swimming to now coaching in Avoya Mastermind. And I especially have the heart for you newbies coming in. So if you don't have any travel experience, no worries. We got you covered.
And you're really amazing at what you do, Laura. And that's why we wanted you on the show today. So this is our last show of the year, which means all of the holidays are coming up, Christmas and New Year's. But right around the corner is wave season. And let's say that I'm someone brand new to the industry, as we were talking about those newbies. And I've heard that word before, wave season, but in all honesty, I really don't know what it means and have no clue. Why should wave season mean something to me?
Actually, it's pretty significant, you guys. Wave season is when the most cruises, tours, basically the most travel is sold during the year. So the first 3-4 months, so January through March, April, depending on how cold. It seems like the colder and longer the winter, the longer that wave season and more profitable wave season is. But basically, if you're sitting out there and you're still, trying to make a decision, decide now, because you've got the most opportunity coming up within the next couple months. You're going to make more money in the first 3 to 4 months than the rest of the year combined. That's worth repeating. More travel is sold during these 3 to 4 months than the rest of the year combined. So that's what it should mean to you. Pretty simple.
And that's just on a traditional term, right, Laura? I mean, in this year, I think so many experts are kind of, weighing in on this, but I think you're going to see that wave season extend beyond a 6-7 month period. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but that's my guess.
No, the pandemic has definitely made us pivot, and we've been kind of waiting for a wave season for a couple years, but I think we're right. I think wave might actually last longer and be more profitable. I think we'll go beyond the 2019 numbers. So I'm really looking forward to it and celebrating some success with our new IAs coming in.
For sure. Laura, as the Senior Manager of Avoya Mastermind, what are some of the ways that some agents sadly fail to properly prepare and take advantage of the amazing sales opportunities that do happen during wave?
I think you said it. The key is they actually fail to prepare, and then they try to do too much. So they're so enthusiastic, which we love the enthusiasm, but we want to harness it and try and give the success in bite size. So preparing is so important, and specializing is the other key to that.
As a follow-up, and maybe you were just kind of alluding to that, what are some of the great things that you see agents do that maximizes that potential during wave season?
Well, I know the IAs that I've been meeting with in this week especially, we've been talking about the opportunities of, with Christmas and New Year's coming up and having just a few weeks before January hits. And we hope to see that first bit of wave come of actually getting, figuring out what vendors that they're going to specialize in, and make sure that they focus just on one or two of those and do it better than anyone else. Just be ready to do it. We have so many top independent agencies that during this time, they will just focus on a few, and you'll hear me say that a lot, focus on a few, and they will do it better than anybody else. And they make great money doing it. So you don't have to come in and try and sell everything under the sun. But if you just take and look at what your opportunities are with the specialties, especially with the leads, getting into the right place there, this is what's going to boost you over the top for the year.
And you really make a good point. And I've always kind of used the analogy that if you're with like a different host that doesn't have a lead program, it's kind of like showing up at your mom's house when you're a kid and she said, this is what's for dinner and this is what you're going to eat. And if you don't like it, you're just going to go away hungry, right? Where in our program, it's like going to the buffet and you're like, listen, I'm only going after the crab legs and like the ambrosia salad or whatever. You know what I mean? And if that's really what you want as a steady diet, then that's what you can have. You're not forced to just eat what's put in front of you, so to speak. And that those leads just make such a huge difference. And then to specialize when you break it down even one extra level is just really an amazing opportunity, right?
Yes, that's a great analogy. I've never thought about that, but you're exactly right. And you do have the choices and you are in control of what it is that you're doing for your independent agency. So, doing it smart, okay, being smart about what you're doing, being specific, being able to measure your success, making sure that what you're putting out there is attainable, that it's realistic, and that you actually have a time-bound goal set for it. That's what's going to keep you on track to be successful.
Very good point. Laura Burk, Senior Manager of Avoya Mastermind, is our returning featured guest for On Deck with Avoya. And Laura, the reason we wanted to wrap up the year with you as our guest, because you're spearheading some really exciting new mastermind resources that are going to be available to those new to the Avoya Travel Network, but really vital for those new to the industry, coming out here in just a couple of weeks when we roll over into January of 2022. Can you highlight some of those new resources?
Absolutely. So starting in 2022, we are launching the Foundations for Early Success program. So once an IA completes Avoya University and they're enabled to participate in the Avoya Lives Leads program, they're going to be invited to participate in a 90-day program where we, my team, are going to help coach them to building a solid foundation for their business and hopefully to help you achieve early success with our leads. Again, this is a 90-day program. It's going to include a progression of individual sessions. And I think it's really important for me to highlight that again, progression of individual sessions. And I have personally taken some IAs through this progression. And I'm happy to say that our top IA, new to travel, new to the business, everything, and within her first 90 days and going through this particular program, she has already achieved over $207,000 in sales. And she's really built a solid foundation to her independent agency. And those sessions include working leads. So once you come out of Avoya University, we'll go over your working leads. So we'll claim, if you haven't claimed a lead already, we'll claim one with you. If you have claimed a couple leads, we'll pick one out and walk through the important pieces of information that you can use to communicate with the lead. And so that leads into our second session, which is effective communication. So we'll talk about not only email, but more importantly, text messaging is really getting popular with responses with our leads. So effectively utilizing text messaging and of course, phone calls for effective communication. And then once we start having success, we're going to take you through your agency metrics and show you how to use the resources in Agent Power to see where you are, how you're pairing with your goals, and to help you adjust those as they go. And then we'll look at the systems again. We'll take a look at systems of running your business. Do you have the right things in place? Is what you're doing working? If it's not working, what can we do to change and make that better? And then after you've had a chance to get that stuff in place, to get those systems in place, we're doing a session called Working Smarter, Not Harder. Well, we'll go through and take a look and see how those changes that you've made are working for you, because hopefully by then you've got that working. And then we'll do a business review, which is going to lead you into the Avoya Mastermind program. I'll talk about that in just a second, but we have weekly group sessions too. So we'll go over live quote coaching. We'll talk about the optional offer match program, how you can use that to create a booking incentive. We'll do agency metrics again, more at a group level. The agency metrics in the individual session is directly the information for your independent agency. We'll talk scripts. We'll talk texting, which in our world, in Avoya's world, we actually have a built-in text system called Avoya Conversations. So you don't even have to leave agent power to text. You don't have to use your personal phone. You don't have to use your business phone. You can text directly from agent power. So that is our early success program. I really feel like if you actively participate, engage in what you're doing, you will find that early success. And from there, like I said, the Avoya Mastermind program, so excited. This is my new baby, but the Mastermind's going to offer a combination of brainstorming, education, peer accountability. I think it's really important that we network with other people and we hold each other accountable for what we're doing. We'll do this in group settings to help sharpen your business and personal skills. And it's a look at a new shared success. We talk a lot about shared success here at Avoya. This is a way for you guys to take that accountability piece in the shared success model, and participation and active engagement are vital to this success. So those are some of the programs that we are kicking off here in just a few short weeks.
Really amazing stuff, Laura. I mean, talking about laying a foundation down so that everything that you build after that has a solid footing. I mean, it makes sense when you build a house. It certainly makes sense when you build your business. Laura, what are the goals of these new resources, and what kind of a commitment is needed by a new affiliate in our network in order for these to really provide a tangible benefit?
So I think it's really important to come in with realistic expectations. I think sometimes we have people come in and they believe that the leads are, someone that is sitting there waiting for a credit card. And so they think they're just going to get a lead, get a credit card, and boom, there's business. So it's not that, folks. It is anything but that. What this is going to entail is you investing time in your business. And like I said, there's so much you can do. And if you try to do it all in the first week, I think that you're setting yourself up to fail. So if you come in with a realistic view of, okay, this is going to take time. I'm going to invest time. And in this time, I'm going to do step one. I'm going to do the next piece of the process. So the other key here is engagement. It's really going to be important to engage in the resources that are available to you, from Chris's team to Avoya University to network engagement, which is Avoya Mastermind and our brand sales team. It's going to be very important to be actively engaged in those resources, because if you don't use those resources, you're actually throwing money away. If you had these resources available to you outside of Avoya, they would cost you a lot of money. And these are part of your affiliation with Avoya. So if they're used in the way that they're intended, and you take the bite-sized pieces, like Chris said, you're going to build a strong foundation. We don't build our house from the roof down. We build it from the ground up. And so just taking time to invest in the beginning, yes, it's going to take time initially, but it's going to help you save time and work smarter as you grow. And in this business, time is money.
Absolutely. Laura, can you explain how our mastermind program can grow with you too? Because let's hope, we all would join with the hope that where we start is not where we're going to finish, right? So is it still a vital resource to your agency as you grow in our program?
It is. And I think it's important that to have that mindset of learning every day. If you aren't growing, you aren't going. So if you take something every single day, so here's another important piece to, your day in life as an independent agency owner, where's your professional development? And that's exactly what our team is all about, is providing that level of professional development that grows with you. So the independent agency that I was referencing earlier, we had a short meetup today because she's like, oh, this happened. And, I wasn't expecting it. And I was like, okay, so let's talk about it. And so it was an opportunity to take a situation that wasn't necessarily positive and make it a teachable moment to learn and grow with it. So yes, you're going to come in and you're going to have great days. And then there are days that I'm talking people off the ledge, but that's the resource. I am not only an educational provider for you, a professional growth development coach. I am also your therapist.
And your rates are a lot better.
My rates are great.
Let's chat for a second about where this leads from a results standpoint, because our Mastermind program has a long and amazing track record of helping those agencies that engage, right? There's that word again. So vital to success, agencies that engage with those resources as far as stronger sales, stronger closing percentage, and of course, generating more commissions. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, but why do you think that's the case, Laura?
I don't think it's a secret. The people who are having success are engaged. The people that we reach out to and they might meet with us one time and then try and do it on their own, they're not having the same level of success. There's one in a handful of IAs that are just that good. Everybody else needs that help. I mean, I dare say that most of us, have never owned a business. I know before I came to Avoya, I never owned a business. I was an employee. I worked for other people and I just, did things. Whereas owning a business, if you've come from being an employee and never running a business, it's a whole new ball game. So learning what that means, and there's a lot of elements that go into that, and you can't know it all. You really can't know it all. So it takes time and it takes active engagement, and you got to be willing to ask questions. You have to be willing to have difficult conversations. I know for me, the turning point for my success with my independent agency, I was reluctant when I came in. I was very reluctant to what Tammy Ritchie was telling me. She was my sales development coach. And I thought I knew better. And one day, one of our sessions, she looked at me and said, how's that working for you? And I was like, what? I'm an independent agency owner. Do you know who I am? Why are you talking to me that way? I really had to take a step back, but I was able to know enough that I looked in the mirror and I was like, how is that working for me? And it really wasn't. And that was a turning point. Once I figured out that what I was doing was complete insanity, I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. And I really started to work together with my sales development coach, and it was amazing from there. I mean, holy cow, did that floodgate open, but I was involved. I spent time, extra time, not just the time that it took to do a session, but time outside of my resources to really make it a successful adventure.
2021's been a really great year, but it's kind of like travel's start of their comeback. In reality, it really is only the beginning, and some exciting days are coming up, no doubt. And last week at the Avoya conference, all the time that I've spent on the road at the various conferences and conventions this year, almost everybody is almost unanimously positive, and the recent sales in our network would point that direction too. But what's your feeling, Laura, as far as what the new year is going to bring as far as sales and opportunities for those in the Avoya Travel Network?
I'm really excited for 2022. I had the opportunity to do our networking event on the Celebrity Apex, and getting back. That was my first trip back, as it was for most of us. And I don't think I ever felt safer. And the cruise excitement, and then just the excitement of the IAs and the staff meeting. I'm really hopeful that this enthusiasm is going to carry into a very strong wave season, and we're going to have better numbers than 2019. Like I said, if you're sitting out there thinking about it, don't waste this opportunity. Get in, get onboarded, and get ready to have success But it's going to take time. It's going to take time. It's going to take work. And just if you have that open mind and excitement and you're willing to put that time and effort in, you can have success too.
Any special travel plans coming up for 2022, Laura?
For 2022, not really. My 25th wedding anniversary is coming up in 2023. So I am looking to do a Alaska trip. That's one of my bucket list items. And we're going to do a Princess 13-day connoisseur. And we're going to go in style. So I'm going to forego my 22 so that I can really enjoy my 23.
Makes sense. Well, it was really great to share in some mutual travel experiences this past year. And I wish you and your family a great Christmas, wonderful holiday, fantastic New Year celebration. Before we let you go, Laura, any last thoughts or bits of wisdom that you would want to pass along to those potential affiliates that are thinking of our network?
I would say at this point in time, if you're thinking about it, do it. Don't miss out on the opportunity. You've got 4 months of waves still ahead of you. And so to do it now, it's an awesome time to do it. So I look forward to seeing you in our early success program here very soon.
We look forward to bragging about that program. My whole team does, Laura. Laura Burk, Avoya Insider, Senior Manager for Avoya Mastermind. Laura, again, thank you so much for that great discussion and update on our new resources.
Thanks, Chris.
So Laura's going to be the final guest of the year here on Deck with Avoya because, again, it's our final broadcast. We're taking a couple of weeks off, but don't worry. We're already fast at work lining up amazing guests for 2022, and we'll be continuing with our Meet the Team, Meet the Network, Meet the Industry features, as well as our new Avoya Insiders as we invite old friends back for a new update on some amazing best-in-class resources offered by Avoya Travel. As I said earlier, Tammy Ritchie, Vice President of Network Engagement, is lined up as our first guest of the new year when we return on January 6th of 2022. And it's going to be chock full of amazing events, forums, immersions, conferences. I can't wait to share all of the details with you in the new year. So before we wrap up, let's talk a little bit about our new to the travel industry program, as you can build your new business with industry-leading resources. And again, the enthusiasm, it's not phony, it's not fake, it's there for a reason. Some really amazing times are just around the corner for the travel industry. So many of my friends that I've been friends with for years talking about vacations and vacations and vacations. That's all I want to talk about right now. Everybody's itching for a getaway. Get involved with this amazing industry. Gain access to marketing, technology, support, education, so much more. Be your own boss. Set your own hours. Reach out to Avoya Travel and get started. Have that conversation today. Same thing if you've been in the industry for a while and you know the good times are just about here and you're ready to take your business to the next level. You certainly can with those Avoya resources, all of the great programs we talked about with Laura Burk today. Build your business the way you want with solutions designed to continuously fuel growth. And Avoya is in grow mode, so it's a really great time. Choose what resources best fit your agency needs. So make sure, again, you reach out and get involved with that conversation. My team can't wait to hear from you. As it is the last show of the year, we just wanted to take a moment and wish you and yours a wonderful season full of happiness and joy. I hope you have a great Christmas as you celebrate. Whatever holidays you celebrate, I hope it's a joyous one. I hope 2022 really does ring in that promise that all of us have discussed. And I'm so thankful and appreciative of everything that you've given to our show over these last years. If you want to reach out, you still can. There's our contact information, chris.green@avoyatravel.com, our phone number, the QR code. Go to our website, avoyanetwork.com. And thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your year. We'll see you back here on January 6th of 2022. Until then, have a great week and a great rest of the year, everyone.